Welcome back to Agent Carter, and we are now on episode 3 of season 1, Time and Tide.
Ooh, sounds like potential time travel, perhaps?
Not really. We're not there yet.
Then why does it have time in the title then?
Well, maybe it's the time to do something, you know?
Like it's time to start the episode before the tide comes in.
Yeah.
Of course.
Which is a bit odd because do any of us even live near the sea?
My mother's birthday was there, but it's more of a lagoon.
I guess if you count my whole home,
Sherrystown is literally called Swansea, so where should we start, Lives?
Just start before the previously on. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to the Avengers. No, not those Avengers, the British Avengers.
So just in case you were wondering, I guess it makes sense why they put a recap here, because as you said, Jova, the first 2 episodes were aired almost simultaneously, so, I guess it made sense. Go on.
And it also works for reruns, hence why I think the second episode also had its recap, because reruns would not always show them together.
Anyway, big bomb that makes things implode. We need to stop the Leviathan organization.
The conspiracy is so big that they have to disguise their voices each time.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we mentioned the silent killer that has been stalking, Agent Carter. I don't remember. I don't think they mentioned his name yet, so I'll just say the name of the actor. It's played by Kyle Bornheimer, which started acting since 2004, but it was in Veronica Mars in 2014. Has been in a lot of minor movies, but a lot of TV instead. Yeah, still to this very day. I love the way it was cut. It almost made the impression that she takes a notepad with a heart on, and out of a shadow comes Mickey in his Organization 13 black cape attire.
This as a world in Kingdom
Out
Hearts.
of all the MCU properties, I don't know if this one is the more appropriate. Like Doctor Strange probably would be better.
That's kind of the ironic thing. The more grounded an MCU project, the less fitting it feels in Kingdom Hearts.
I know that Big Hero 6 managed to work despite being relatively grounded. The characters did have their own superpowers, but the setting was still the San Francisco City. Jimmy!
Wow. He is that determined for sex that he was willing to climb up a building just to sneak in.
Still, rookie mistake. Bye.
I do like how they got a guy who looks similar to the assassin enough to the point where you wonder, oh crap, did he find her that quickly? But it's funny you mentioned Big Hero 6, since technically Big Hero 6 is a Marvel team.
And yet Origins, I get the idea that the Disney adaptation is never being referenced. I don't even know if the Marvel database actually includes that as a, alternate universe. They're really just taking it its own thing. I'll need to check, another time.
Instead, and yet Stan Lee showed up in that movie, so wouldn't that technically mark an MCU?
Who the fuck? Drova, at that point, Princess Diaries 2 will be canon.
Still trying to work out where it fits in the lore, but we'll find out someday.
I don't remember. Is Princess Diaries even a Disney franchise?
Yes.
Okay. And
I forget if it started off as a Disney franchise, but Disney definitely own it now. Let me
in case
just
you don't
check.
know what that reference was, Federico Rossellini actually was a very, prolific movie director.
Yes, produced by Walt Disney Pictures in 2001.
God damn.
This
In the meantime, this episode instead is directed, again, changed, by Scott Wynant, who was the director of only two movies, Till Where Was You in 1987 and an upcoming one called The Journey. But otherwise, he's stuck with a lot of TV movies and series, like
also
Georgetown. Uh, yeah, I don't recognize almost anything else. Gone.
also confirmation that Jimmy did manage to score last night from the blonde.
Good to know, I guess.
Uh-oh.
God, I'm starting to have flashback to Spirit Running Free. Busted! How did they find her? Did someone snitched?
My god, you're like the villain from a Footloose movie.
Like I said, Jov, I'm reminded of one of the final seasons of Spirit Riding Free when they go to that college thing and the principal is this
That's not
stuck-up
what you should
jerk.
be.
What is
That's
that
not what you should be comparing
comparison?
your hotel to.
Huh.
You
Okay,
know,
look, lady, if you didn't have love in life, you don't have to take it out on the rest of us.
I could make a comparison to something I heard about, but this is not the right time for it. Instead, I found out that yes, Marvel Database confirms that the Disney Big Hero 6 Earth is labeled as Earth 14123. So it is part of the multiverse, it's just that they don't really reference it. It would be interesting if there's at least a cameo picture during the upcoming Avengers duology movie, the Multiversal War.
Once again, leave it to Marvel to, in a way, canonize everything, even if they don't always pay mind to it. Just a reminder that, yes, even the theme park rides apparently have their own Earth designation.
Yeah, if you
I
remember
swear.
also the at the end of the previous episode they did found the plate of the car in the implosion.
Which could once again spell trouble for Peggy.
What a lovely place. There you go. Was that expression and delivery sounded like he wanted to be in The Soprano?
Hmm.
Yes, quite.
Yeah. I love these two's banter.
How
Well, there you
convenient.
go. If you want to rob something, you just wait till a thunderstorm is happening.
Well, you gotta admit, it helps shield out the sounds, and given that this is, let's see, this is like post World War II time, so
1950s, yeah. So in end of 40s, beginning of 50s.
clever.
Rude.
Oh boy.
Damn.
The absolute dedication.
I was getting LA Noir flashbacks also to the way the guy looked, especially with the head tilted diagonally.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
no,
truthed out lie.
knowing original LA Noir, he was simply doing the mere questioning prompt with how aggressive he was.
Also, why was there a map of Japan there?
Well, they were
Oh,
at
right,
war with
remember.
them a couple of years before.
Just okay. To be fair,
Also,
like we said, 1 year after, you think they would have removed that by now?
okay, one thing to remember, this organization is technically the precursor to what will become S.H.I.E.L.D. when Peggy reforms it. I mean, assuming they're going to do the same thing that happened in the short, basically. So, essentially, I'm guessing they're like, sort of a world services organization, so of course they'd have a map there. Ooh, SSR, that means you're full of legendaries to get in a gacha.
I don't think that's how it works.
If only. Imagine a gacha being that generous. Ha,
Uh-huh.
cheeky.
Hmm. Is that like butlers know powerful people? What?
Let's be honest, they all just really want to get to say the butler did it.
And how do you know he's innocent?
He just knows.
The butler always knows.
So it's treason then.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow, can't imagine how this will be very relevant today.
It really is a flat circle, goddammit.
Maybe that's all the things that the flat earthers, were actually missing from it. They were looking at space and not time.
I know, right?
Not interested.
Okay, bye.
Hmm.
No. Let me guess, he's going to have a side summit that is.
You know what they say, always read before signing.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm correct in this case, we actually used it to actually instead take some of the papers of Jarvis.
It might be that she had a thin enough layer around that his signature might at least leave an imprint enough to trace on something.
Uh, so obviously she gets her dress down.
Mm-hmm. Exemplary by those good old 40s standards.
Clearly.
Fire.
I mean, he's Chad
What?
Michael Murray. You're allowed to tell him to fuck off.
Walk of shame. If I recall correctly, it was a higher power that put her there in the first place, thanks to her services in the war.
Yes.
So I don't think he can fire her just outright, not without, proper cause.
We basically just got to the "you're a loose cannon, Peggy."
The wonders of living a double life and having to turn down your friends for a good time.
It's also to showcase that, in a way she is a superheroine, right? Just not the super conventional way. Also, what the hell is that sweater?
It's the latest in 40s fashion. Somebody had to have loved it.
They found a Brit.
And Brits excite her. Awkward.
Verily.
Had our fair share of close calls today.
Maybe it was just Bugs Bunny. I don't know.
No,
Although,
clearly it was the Mole
yeah, we're in
Man.
Marvel Universe, so that has to be the calling card of a Mole Man. But we don't own his movie rights yet. How could this be?
True, and now that you mention it, DC and Marvel are crossing over again, and DC did literally have a crossover with the Looney Tunes, so by proxy, it could indeed have been Bugs Bunny.
Well, not by the
Oh,
time this
comic
episode
books.
was made. The last crossover was JLA Avengers, which was in the early 2000s. Imagine, it took 20 plus years to get another one. And
I'm
even then,
honestly
it was
amazed.
more an anthological format, like in the olden days, like instead of a big crossover event.
I still wonder what finally got them to play nice again to the
Money,
point where we're getting.
it has to be
True,
that.
yeah. I guess, but it must have been a good chunk of change to overcome the egos both have, especially when it comes to competing with the other.
Well,
But
to be fair, Per Matter is not there anymore, and then the deal either at the respective comic companies. So instead, we have to
true.
ponder about the respective owner, Bob Iger and David Zaslav.
Okay, Bob Iger is definitely a lot more friendly with collabs and, pretty much taking in anything that can work out well.
And
And
Zaslav seems
Zaslav,
to have actually, did allowed actual crossovers to happen sometimes. So maybe they
I guess
presented him with
so.
the idea of this project is gonna make money, and they were like, okay.
This might legit be the closest time we could ever get another Who Framed Roger Rabbit movie, in terms of at least bringing back all the IPs.
Hmm.
See what?
Imagine treating women with respect. You must be sweet on her.
Oh, he said he's thinking that, oh, she had a crush on Captain America, you have no chance.
Which is kind of ironic given how Steve was not exactly, well, Captain America all the
Yeah,
time.
it's
Of
pretty
course, most people
intentional
don't
to
know that.
showcase the fact that a lot of these people don't only know about the propaganda they were fed on. Remember, I think the nobody knew outside of Erskine and the other people involved with the experiment how Steve looked like before.
Mhm. There was, like, we do see in present times with the Captain America Museum that they better cover that, but if I recall correctly around this time, yeah, it
That's for the
wasn't as
future. You
covered.
can chuck it up to say the equivalent of, FBI and CIA secrets actually getting revealed decades after the fact, which, obviously not as worrying as those, but still. So basically, what Jarvis did was in the service of saving people. And I guess for this continuity, Howard Stark is basically the equivalent of Oscar Schindler.
Hmm. We gotta leave something for the fans to theorize on, after all. Huh.
Mhm.
So, yeah, a boat. Clearly the culprit is Kevin Costner.
All for that damn boat.
My boat.
The most emotion he showed in that movie was indeed for that boat. You know, the weird thing is that I don't think that was too long before or after his Robin Hood movie, where he's not amazing, but at least he can emote in that movie.
That's the
In
thing, Joe. I
Waterworld,
remember starting with Dancing with Wolves. Kevin Costner started to grow an ego, and a lot of the projects where he was involved were basically vanity projects.
so why the hell was he acting so dull in Waterworld then? Did he just not care?
Possible. Or badly
Well,
directed.
Kevin Costner, his ability to care is weird at times.
Okay, never
Erratic.
mind, but the director of Waterworld was the same as Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, Kevin Reynolds. So what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he's the inverse of God, the inverse of the other boring guy, Lost in Space.
Yeah, with the late William Hurt.
Yeah. William Hurt. Like William Hurt feels like he's always trying. He just really can't escape that dull tone, essentially. Except, ironically, for in a Shyamalan movie, whereas Kevin Costner feels like he could turn in a better performance. It just really depends on if he cares or not. And when he doesn't care, oh boy, will he let you know.
Alright, let's check what is in crate number 1.
Oh god, that is okay. If it's glowing green, I don't think that is safe to touch, girl.
I hope you were not planning of having kids anytime soon.
Which, didn't she kind of end up having Sharon? Or I forget if Sharon's her niece in the MCU.
My daughter, niece.
Nice.
You know it's serious because he said bloody.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that'll go well with them.
Basically, he's testing her to make sure that she can find a good alibi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, looking a bit artsy with your lighting, aren't you, series? Very avant-garde.
And this is the big frustration she must grapple with. To obtain proper justice, she can't exactly get all the glory. Not yet, anyway.
Oh, is he going to put on an American accent or something?
Please, no.
Oh, God. I knew it.
I can tell that the actor is having fun, so there is that.
Yes. Look, I
Or
need you to act. I need you to act like an English gentleman who has trouble putting on an American accent.
And again, to be honest, Jarvis actor James Darcy, this is probably one of the better things in his career.
Oh?
Like we said at the beginning, but his movie repertoire is not super stellar. Okay, it was recently in Oppenheimer, so there is that. Early on in the year 2000, he was in Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World and Exorcist: The Beginning, but he was also in The Snowman. So 2017, so there's no parent. Also, Jupiter Ascending in 2015. So
Jesus.
also Cloud Atlas in 2012. This guy is a bit of a regular of the Wachowskis.
So Oppenheimer was basically a life raft being thrown to him.
And to be fair, he hasn't done anything movie-wise since. He has worked much better with TV stuff.
Well, hey, at least he got to meet Howard Stark's son in Oppenheimer by going back in time.
Yeah. Remember the basics of CQC, Peggy.
Mhm.
How? Yeah, these guys keep fighting dirty, Jarvis. You can't just go full British and say square up, but...
I honestly don't know.
God, I'm just reminded of those 2007, 2008 meme where that pose with the hand is like that, particularly with the 60s Spider-Man cartoon, and the tagline is "Must not fap."
I thought he was about to punch himself in the face.
It caused a paralysis rather than involuntary movement, so I get that. And yeah, thanks to the tip.
I thought it was some mind control thing, and she was gonna make him punch
No,
himself.
they did. Jarvis and Peggy did mention what the device did when they found it in the box, so it was more of a Chekhov's gun. Pretty sure he's
Don't
not
worry,
gonna.
he's all good.
I don't think he can.
Actually, that's a good question. What year did Dr. Seuss release the How the Grinch Stole Christmas book? Let me see. 1957, so it wasn't yet by the time of this taking place.
That's a good question. Fair point.
There's gonna be plenty of opportunities in the future. You probably won't be alive by then, but still. How about people turning into?
We'll try.
How about people turning into shadows?
Oh boy. Honestly, by that point, you have to wonder how New York City hasn't seen a mass evacuation.
Well, a good way of storytelling for a universe that expands with that kind of stuff would be with the rise of minor organization that helps people and stuff like that. But
There's
unfortunately,
only one English woman in the entire state.
I mean, I'm not sure he can, buddy, but still. Hey, I'm driving here. Oh, and yeah, unfortunately, I guess it was a mustachioed killer. Man, that guy is
Let's
super
see.
efficient. Yeah, gotta clean the job.
Yeah, they did say everybody has to die, so
Waves, I think this session of Hitman is going a bit too rough, isn't it?
Well, I mean, if that were me, I'd have the guards yelling, "Shit! Stop him! He's killing civilians!"
Well, he's just in the middle of the street.
so manipulating situations.
Oh.
Oh, don't tell me she got demoted to telecommunications.
Yeah, remember, that was one of the cops of the department. So...
Mm-hmm.
Which means that, involuntarily Peggy led to his death. Again, it's kind of interesting that we're hitting the typical cliches of a superhero story, just not in the way that you think. But they're still maintaining that kind of structure.
In a way, kind of like a superhero story mixed with a cop drama.
So does that mean Jarvis is a wanted man?
Well, they don't know anything yet, so...
And technically, that was her plan. Oh boy.
I'm sure this is the biggest problem Howard Stark has to be tied to in the future of the MCU.
That whole family is just a
Cursed,
mess.
yes.
Wait, oh god, he has to contact both his wife and girlfriend.
Well, at
even
least
though
we're
he was
doing
polygamous
separately
with
to make
cheating.
sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been quite a eventful and degrading 24 hours for Peggy.
Poor Peggy just can't get a win. Again,
Welcome to being a Marvel superhero, Peggy.
well, if you're more like Spider-Man, I guess, you get used to that, but,
Okay.
I mean, he started going through the bullshit young, so,
Okay. Let's be honest. I feel like we're at the point where Spider-Man just deserves his own category, as opposed to almost any other Marvel superhero. Like, holy cow.
It also pisses me off, at least partially, because specifically Steve Ditko created the character to be the hero that was relatable to the viewer the most. The one that pays mortgage, had a college, university job, whatever it was, and had to scrounge up to have a normal life and balance things out. And over the decade, the editorial mandate pretty much transformed that into, the guy that has to suffer the most.
Like, it says something that in just about any universe that isn't the main universe, Spider-Man is off so much better. Like, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay, I will say
Married.
this. Taking it outside the adaptations, I argue Miguel is not faring. He's still faring better than Pete, 616 Pete, but not by much. The 2099 regular universe is still a bit of a crap world.
Okay. I'm talking specifically about alternate versions of Peter Parker. Like, yeah, other Spider-Man do have it rough, but other versions of Peter Parker seem to be off better. Like,
I'll
Ultimate.
need to read. Speaking of British, I'll need to read up again Marvel 1602 to see how Peter Parker fared.
He's doing better in the second Ultimate comic book Spider-Man line. There was Renew Your Vows and everything. And shoot, even some of the shows too.
So yeah, could be better.
Whew.
Or by
Yeah,
Someone
Peggy.
died.
but by quoting Top Gear, still could be worse. So I guess that's what we need to actually find out what's gonna happen. But again, like I said, it's very interesting that we're actually still having the canons of what makes a superhero story, but still adapting it to these secret agent kind of, deal with resembling of, as we mentioned, the old The Avenger, story with the two British agents. It's actually pretty cute.
Yeah, like I said, it's interesting how it seems to be combining basically a superhero story with that of a police cop drama, in a sense, with the one overarching mystery, of course, and all that.
Alright, that means that we need to go to the next episode next time, which will be the Blitzkrieg button. So see you for that.
See ya.
See you then.